All right. Well, hello, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Amanda. I'm one of the yoga instructors. And just a friendly reminder that anything that we do during our practice or sequence, if something doesn't feel good or it just doesn't, you feel any pain, just take a modification or you can skip it completely. Again, everything is just optional. Everything I do is definitely not required. And if you need even a sip of water, if you have it next to your mat, you can have that. Don't feel like you have to go through the whole entire flow, nonstop. So before we start and before I meet you on the mat, just kind of a food for thought. I was actually on vacation last week and I was in Hawaii and I got to see all these beautiful palm trees everywhere I went, and it kind of got me thinking. I'm sure you guys have heard the saying, you can't see the forest for the trees. And so just thinking about perspective, sometimes we like to look at the macro picture and then sometimes we like to look more at the micro. And both are equal to each other. Not one is better than the other. And we need to have that shift of perspective every so often. So looking at just the greenery and the foliage, it's just so beautiful and you see, just all this lushness. But then if you go and look actually just maybe at one tree, you see that it provides shelter and food for like the birds. I even got to see like this really cool neon lizard and like the bees, and they have like this own ecosystem, and it's really cool. So kind of relating that to yoga, sometimes we see a pose or we're in a pose and we're like, okay, tree pose, like we're standing on one leg, our arms are up or, at heart center, and you see this particular shape. That's more of a macro picture, but looking more inward, if we could peel back the layers, you would see that our muscles are engaged, our core is tight, we have this energy rooting down through the floor and, energy going up through the crown of the head, and you see all this different things going on. So I encourage you throughout this practice and even after kind of shifting your perspective forward and back, it's always good to have that. So with that being said, let me start the music. And then I will join you on the mat. We're just going to start in a nice seated position. It can be crisscross applesauce. You can sit on a pillow or a bolster. You can even have your legs out straight if that doesn't feel too good on the knees or the hips at all. But then once you kind of find that sweet spot, maybe sway a little side to side. You may even have to close your eyes at first, kind of get your bearings of the room, of the floor. And then maybe when it feels good, start to slowly close the eyes. And if you are swaying back and forth, just feeling a little bit of release of energy flowing out. Maybe today you had a hectic morning and you have all this energy built up, and just slowly settling into more of a softer seated pose here. And then when you're ready, we'll find some bit of stillness, just rooting the sit bones into the ground. And on an inhale, just really lengthening the spine all the way to the crown of the head, nice and long. Rolling the shoulders down the spine. And just letting the muscles become a little softer, a little heavier. So as we slowly begin to come into our practice, come into this room, come into your body, just being aware of the breath, just letting it be nice and slow, a deeper breath after each one. Start to bring awareness to your physical body. See if there's any aches or pains anywhere, just noticing them, giving them a little more love and attention during our practice today. Then begin to draw your awareness to your emotions. See how you're feeling right now. Maybe it's sad, maybe it's happy, nervous, anxious, or excited. Whatever it is, just kind of see where you're at, no judgment. Maybe you have all different kinds of emotions going on. I feel like that right now. So, and that's okay. Just see where you're at. All of our emotions have a shelf life. So if you don't get hooked on it or repress them, sooner or later, they'll kind of roll with the wave. That's kind of life. We just kind of roll with it. And then just making that journey a little even deeper in. Concentrating on the present, concentrating on your breath. And then if it resonates with you, you can set an intention for your practice today. It can be a positive affirmation, or maybe it's releasing something that no longer serves or benefits you. Whatever it is, let it come naturally, no overthinking. Just let it sink in for a few more breaths. And we'll just take a nice big breath in through the nose. A longer, deeper exhale. Let's do that one more time. Big inhale in. Nice, calm breath out. So keeping the eyes closed or heavy, we'll take the chin towards the chest. And then we'll just gently circle the neck in the one direction, working out any kinks in the neck. And then when you're ready, we'll just roll out the neck the other way, nice and easy. Once your chin meets your chest again, we'll slowly blink the eyes open, nice and easy. And on your next inhale, we'll take the gaze all the way forward. So on your next breath in, we'll inhale the arms all the way up. Gaze looks in between the thumbs, lengthening at the very top. Exhale and bring the hands down to heart center. And we'll just do that a few more times. Inhale, sweep the arms up, gathering up all that energy. And then exhale, taking the hands all the way down. Beautiful. One more time. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And then exhale, take the hands back down to heart center. So leave the hands right here. And then see if you can equally press your right into left, left into right. Feeling that energy just really gather right here. And then maybe even plug the thumbs up into the sternum, grabbing a hold of that heartbeat. And just feeling that life flowing in and out, the breath, the prana, the energy. Maybe smiling, just being grateful that you're here on your mat today. It's the hardest part. Everything after is pretty easy. So we'll just take the hands back down to our knees, and we're just going to straighten out that right leg first. And then take that left foot into the thigh, and if that doesn't feel good on the knee or the hip at all, you can take a block or a pillow and place it right underneath. And the foot can even be a little farther out if that feels better on the hip. As long as the hip is turned outward just a bit, feeling a little bit of stretch. And then we'll flex the toes all the way up towards the sky. Inhale, sweep the arms up again. Exhale, begin to hinge at the hip, leading with the chest, even if it's just an inch. I know we're not warmed up, so just a little bit. And we'll inhale back up. And then exhale, begin to hinge at the hips again, leaning forward. Inhale up. Exhale one more time, taking the chest towards the shin. Just let the hands drop wherever they are. Maybe you can reach the toes already, or maybe it's just placing your hands on top of your thigh. Just getting that nice stretch in the back of the leg and still really flexing the toes like it's pressing into the ground. And we'll take one more breath in. One more breath out. Beautiful. We'll inhale the arms all the way up. Exhale, begin to twist from the belly to the left. And then we'll take the hands down, right hand on top of that left knee, left hand right behind you. Inhale again, lengthen, and then exhale, twisting over to the left just a bit more. Another deep breath in. And then exhale, maybe spin around just a bit more. And then coming all the way back towards center. So we'll just switch. We'll put our left leg out, put our right leg in, and again, each side's going to feel a little different. So if you need a pillow or a block underneath that knee, that'll feel so much better on the knee and the hip at first. So we'll inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Just lean forward just an inch. And inhale all the way straight back up. And then exhale, leaning forward. Inhale, lift back up. Last time. Exhale, coming just a little further. And then take the hands, whether it's on the toes, the shin, or the top of the thigh. Again, not pushing anything, especially in the beginning of this practice. Relaxing the muscles a bit, slowing down the breath. No need to hold on or tense up anything. Calm breath in. Calm breath out. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, twisting from the belly. We'll go to the right and then drop the hands down. Inhale, lengthen the spine once more. And then exhale, twisting just a bit. Nothing too deep. One more breath in. One more breath out. And then coming all the way back towards center. So this time we'll take both of our legs out. You can even shake them out a bit. Flexing the toes towards the sky. We'll inhale the arms up. And then exhale again, hinging from the hips just an inch. And inhale back up. Exhale, lean with the chest. And inhale back up. Last time, we'll exhale, lean, and then let the hands fall wherever they may. And you can even bend the knees. That might feel better, placing the belly on top of the thighs. No big deal. And just soften here just for a moment. Let the low back release. Let the backs of the legs open up just a bit more. We'll take one breath in, one breath out. So from here, we'll roll ourselves up, begin to bend both of our knees, and we'll just take it all the way up to a tabletop. Shoulders right over the wrist, hips right over the knees, fingertips spread nice and wide. Spine is neutral, gaze is looking straight down. On your next breath in, we'll lower the belly, open up the chest, and the gaze looks up. Exhale, begin to round the upper back, belly to spine, chin to chest. Couple more times. Inhale, pull the heart through the arms, tailbone points up. And then exhale, just dome the upper back, really pressing through the hands. Last time, we'll inhale for a cow pose. And then reverse it to a cat back. And then coming back to that nice neutral spine. So really engage with the core, pressing down through all 10 knuckles. We're going to tuck the toes under. And then we're just going to take the hips all the way up and back, downward facing dog. So you can keep your knees bent here at first. Just lengthening the backside, lengthening the spine all the way to the crown of the head, pulling the chest through the arms, gaze looks in between the feet or the calves. If you're ready, you can inhale up onto the toes and then bend one knee, straighten the other, and then switching, just playing around with it, pedaling out the feet. See what's going on with the backs of the legs. And then once you had enough of that, we'll find a little bit of stillness. Straighten out the legs as much as possible. But again, you can always have a nice little bend in the knees. And we'll inhale up onto the tippy toes. And then exhale the heels down towards the mat. No worries if the heels don't touch. A couple more times. Inhale up onto the toes. And then exhale the heels down. Last time. Inhale up. Exhale down. On your next breath in, we'll gaze towards the top of the mat. And then exhale, slowly begin to step and crawl yourself all the way to the top of the mat. Once you make your way over, just folding over the legs. Nice generous bend in the knees. Let the belly just rest on top of the thighs.
And then if it feels good, grab onto opposite elbows, swaying a little side to side into ragdoll. Seeing if you can get that head parallel to the floor. Letting gravity just pull all that tension in the shoulders and the neck down, releasing just a bit more. And we'll take the fingertips back down to the mat, keeping the head nice and heavy. We'll slowly roll up, one vertebra at a time. Once you make your way up, roll the shoulders down the spine. Inhale the arms all the way up. Gaze looks in between the thumbs. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Big breath in. Bigger breath out. Inhale, slight bend in the knees. Sweep the arms up. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Swan dive down, nice and slow. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands can be on top of the thighs or the shins. And then exhale, forward fold. Couple more times. Inhale, lift the heart, nice flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Last time, inhale, halfway lift, gaze is looking straight down. And then exhale, take the hands down, just step back to a plank pose. You can always be on your knees in the beginning if you need to. But we want a nice engaged core here. Again, gaze is looking straight down, nice long neck to the spine. And we'll just breathe here for one breath in and one breath out. Take the knees down to the ground, and we're just going to bend the elbows, graze the rib cage all the way down to the belly, and then flatten the tops of the feet onto the mat. On your next breath in, we're just going to lift the chest up just an inch. Gaze is looking straight down again, baby cobra. And then exhale down. And good. Inhale, maybe just a couple more inches up this time. And then exhale down. Inhale, maybe to a full cobra. Engage the glutes at the top. And then exhale down with control. We'll tuck the toes under. And with the knees lifted or down, we'll just take ourselves all the way back into a plank pose. And take the hips all the way up and back, downward facing dog. We'll just take a nice big breath in. Bigger breath out. Inhale, gaze towards the top of the mat. And exhale again, just slowly walking all the way to the top. Still getting into the backs of the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, slowly rolling up one notch at a time again. Roll the shoulders down the spine. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, bringing the hands down to heart center. Full breath in. Full breath out. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Swan dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, take the hands down, stepping back to that plank pose again. Stay for the breath in. On the breath out, lower the knees, and then bend the elbows all the way down to the belly. We'll inhale for our cobra. Stay here if this is enough. If you have the space with your back bend, you can lift the chest a bit higher, and then lift the knees, lift the thighs and hips off the ground for our upward facing dog. And then we'll all meet back into a downward facing dog. One breath in, one breath out. Inhale, gaze towards the top of the mat. And exhale, maybe this time take a nice big step all the way to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. This time we'll inhale, root to rise all the way to standing, lifting the arms, lifting the gaze. Exhale, hands come down to heart center. Calm breath in. Calm breath out. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, melt the heart all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, take the hands down, stepping back to our plank pose. Stay for the breath in. On the breath out, lower down halfway or all the way, your choice. Inhale for cobra, upward facing dog. And then exhale all the way back, downward facing. A nice deep breath in through the nose. And exhale, let it out the mouth. Inhale, gaze towards the top of the mat. And exhale, taking a nice big step all the way to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise all the way to standing. And then exhale, hands come to heart center. And just finding your foundation here. Really rooting down through all four corners of the feet, engaging the quads, engaging the core. And really lifting the sternum all the way to the crown of the head to the sky. Feeling a full body engagement, just standing here. Let's take a full breath in. Full breath out. Beautiful. So on your next breath in, we're going to sweep the arms up. Begin to bend both knees. We're going to come into our chair pose. So it doesn't have to be really deep at first, but just a nice little bouncy bend in the knees right here, nice and soft. But engaging the core. Arms are nice and long. They can always be at heart center if that feels better. Engaging the top of the thighs, engaging the glutes as well. And we'll just stay here for one breath. And then maybe if it feels good, see if you can shift the weight to one leg and maybe just take the left toes up. And we'll just place it back down. Shift the weight to the left foot. And then you just bend that right knee, lift the toes off the ground, and then just place them back. Inhale, lengthen up just a bit, and then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, take the hands down, step back to plank pose. Stay for the breath in. On the breath out, lower down halfway or all the way. Inhale for cobra, upward facing dog. And then exhale all the way back, downward facing. On your next breath in, we're just going to lift that left leg up. And it doesn't really matter how high it is, as long as the hips are square and that left glute is engaged. Gaze is looking straight back at that right foot. Chest is pulling through. Nice and strong here. And again, we'll take another big breath in. Big breath out. Inhale, maybe lift that leg just an inch higher. And then exhale, pull that knee into the chest. And then we'll pull that left foot in between the hands, low lunge. So the back foot is going to spin down to the ground and really engage that core, rooting down through that front foot as well. And we're going to stand all the way up into our warrior one pose. So from here, see where your body's at. Your hips shouldn't be totally facing forward because that's not going to feel too good on that back knee. But your hips are kind of facing that corner to the right of you. But your torso, you're really going to engage it, begin to turn it so it is facing towards the front. Nice bend in that front knee as much as possible. Again, not pressing past your limits, but feeling just a little challenged here. So normally we kind of flow through this kind of fast. I really want you to feel a nice foundation with this whole sequence. Feeling both feet rooting down to the ground, but feeling that upper half really lift all the way up. Our yin to our yang. Paying attention to the breath. Nice and easy. We'll stay here for one more breath in. One more breath out. On your next inhale, begin to straighten up the leg and then begin to turn out and maybe even heel toe that back foot out just a bit more. And then we'll bend that front knee into our warrior two. So this one should be heel to arch in the back. But again, if it doesn't feel too good in the hips, just kind of adjusting. You can always shorten your stance if that feels better in the hips. But as long as your hips are facing towards the right this time. Arms are nice and long. Gaze is nice and soft over those front fingertips. And then see with every breath, as you inhale, maybe lift up just a centimeter. And then on an exhale, maybe just bend the knee just a bit more. Feel a nice heat kind of burning or in that front thigh, and that's okay. That's just your body working for you. Core is nice and strong. Big breath in. Big breath out. Keeping the legs where they are, we'll inhale, tip it back, reverse. And then exhale, we're going to come to the front side. So left forearm on top of that right thigh. And inhale that right arm all the way up. If it feels good, maybe arcing it overhead. Back foot is really rooting down. You feel that stretch from the heel all the way to the fingertips. And again, we'll just stay here for one breath in, one breath out. Inhale, tip it back, reverse. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down to the ground, low lunge. And we'll take the left foot to meet the right into our plank pose. So from here, we're going to lift the hips up just a bit, and then begin to turn onto our left foot, coming into a plank pose. So you can have your feet staggered, or you can even have that left knee down for a modified side plank. See where you're at today. No big deal which one you pick. If you do want a little more challenge, you can stack that right on top of the left. Really engage the core, taking those hip points towards the front. And lift the hips up maybe an inch or two. And if you want to play around with it, maybe see if you can take that right foot onto the calf. Maybe even slides up to the thigh. And if you're shaking, no worries. Again, your body's just working for you. No big deal. Once you've had enough of that, we'll come all the way back to our plank pose. Take a full breath in. Full breath out. On your next inhale, we'll lift the hips up just a bit again and just turn it on to our right side. Again, feet can be staggered, right knee can be down, or if you want a bit more challenge, you can take the left onto the right. Again, seeing if you can lift that top hip just a bit more. And then playing around with it, see if you can get that left foot on top of the right calf or even up onto the thigh. Calm breath in, calm breath out. And we'll take it all the way back to our plank pose. You can go straight into downward facing dog or take your flow, your choice. And we'll omni back up into downward facing dog. If you need a break at any time, you can always come down to child's pose. Again, no big deal, just listening and honoring your body. If it needs a break, if it needs water, just giving it what it needs. So we'll just take a big breath in, big breath out. Inhale, take that right leg up this time, hips square to the mat, toes pointing down, engaging that right glute, and chest pulling through towards that top thigh. We'll inhale, lift the leg just a bit higher, and then exhale, take that knee in towards the chest, pull that right foot through the hands, low lunge. And then we'll spin that back heel down towards the ground, really engaging that core. We'll take it all the way up, warrior one. So again, checking with the hips. See if they're not totally turned out to the left, but kind of to that left corner. Really engage that core and then twisting that front body towards the front of the mat. Arms are lifting nice and long, or hands are at heart center. Nice, easy breaths here. With every exhale, maybe just bending the knee just a bit more. Settling in, letting the body work. Inhale through the nose and exhale it out. Inhale, begin to straighten up that front knee all the way up. And then exhale, turning the hips out to the left a bit more. We'll settle down into warrior two. Arms nice and long. Again, seeing what's going on with that front knee. See if you can press it towards the right. And knee is tracking over those front toes. Knee is either behind or stacked right on top of that ankle, but not in front. Your knees will thank you later for that. And see if you can draw this softness in the upper arms. Still nice and strong, but not so stiff to where you have tension. Good. Full breath in. Full breath out. Inhale. Begin to tip it back, reverse. Then exhale, coming to the front side, extended side angle. Inhale that top arm up. And then exhale, begin to extend it over. Right forearm really pressing into that top, or that right thigh. Again, we're feeling the whole entire body, the energy, the engagement, but having this nice softness in our breath at the same time. On your next breath in, we'll inhale, tip it back. Exhale, cartwheel the hands forward, low lunge. Right foot meets the left. And we'll just take a big breath in. Deeper breath out. This time, we'll roll it over to the right side for our plank pose. And again, see what you want to do this time. Maybe it's modified. Maybe you want to have a little more challenge and stagger the feet or even stack the feet. Maybe coming into that tree pose if that feels good. And then we'll all meet back up into our plank pose. Full breath in. Full breath out. Inhale, take the hips up just a bit, and we'll roll it to our left side. You're just finding which modification, which variation works for your body right now. There's no competition in yoga. It's just you, your body, and your breath right now. And then we'll all meet back up into our plank pose. So again, you can take a child's pose, go straight into downward facing dog, or take your flow. And we'll take 3 active resting breaths right here. One breath in. One breath out. Inhale, begin to gaze towards the top of the mat, and exhale, take a nice step all the way to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise all the way to standing, lifting the arms. And then exhale, hands come to heart center. Nice big breath in through the nose. Exhale, let it out of the mouth. Let's just do that one more time. Big breath in. Bigger breath out. So from here, we're going to inhale, coming back into that chair pose. And maybe sinking down just an inch or two more. Maybe legs are shaking just a bit. And now from here, we're going to just shift the weight into our right foot. This time, we're going to take that left knee up towards our chest. This is just an iso hold or isometric hold. We're just really engaging that left quad, flexing the left toes. Really reaching up through the crown of our head and our fingertips, but really rooting down through that right foot. So from here, you can stay here. Or for our tree pose, you can take the foot down into a kickstand. Toes on the ground, heel up onto the ankle. And staying here if this is okay. If you have room, maybe slide it up onto the calf. And again, just see how you're feeling. If you have the space and you want to bring it up to your thigh, grab a hold of that ankle and then gently place it onto the inner thigh. As long as that foot's not on that knee, we're all good. So again, thinking of like in the beginning, when that right hand was pressing into the left, left into the right equally. We want to do that the same way with our leg. So right thigh pressing into the foot, foot pressing into the thigh. You'll find a bit more balance here. If you want a little more challenge, maybe take that left hand to the left leg. Maybe take that right arm up. Maybe even take both arms up, maybe lean to the side just a bit. Shoes are never just in one place, they're rooted. they kind of waver in the wind. So if you're shaking, no big deal. So we'll take one breath here. On the breath out, let that foot down, and then just shake it out a bit. So we're standing nice and tall, and we're just going to move to the other side. So we'll inhale, sweep the arms up, coming back into that chair pose. Sink it down maybe just an inch more, just for a breath. And then we'll root that left foot down in the ground and see if you can pull that right leg up. Flexing the toes, right quad is engaged. Really rooting that left foot down into the ground and lifting the upper half all the way up to the sky. So again, stay here if this is okay. Or if you want to go into our tree pose, just take that right foot down into a kickstand. Or bring it up to the calf. Or grab a hold of that ankle and press it into the thigh, thigh into the foot. And just finding one point of reference for your focus. Once you grab a hold of it, shifting that awareness to your breath again. As long as you're breathing, you're doing it right. And again, if you want a bit of a challenge, take that right hand on top of the right thigh, left arm up, or maybe both arms up. And if you fall out of it, no big deal. You can go right back into it, or you can totally rest. So we'll just take one more breath in. On the breath out, we'll let the foot down nice and easy. Shake it out. When you're ready, we'll inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, take the hands down, step back to plank pose, and we're just going to drop the knees down. Big toes touch. And spread the knees as wide as comfortable. Take the hips back towards the heels, coming into child's pose. Let the arms be nice and long. And let the head, the forehead, the third eye come down onto the mat. Let yourself recenter and refocus. Maybe let out a nice big breath. I'm just telling yourself that you did such a good job with all these core and balance poses. Or even just telling yourself, good job just for even showing up today. Again, that is the hardest part, is just to show up. So we'll just take one more breath there. And then when you're ready, we'll walk our hands back towards our knees. And just coming to a side seat. We'll sweep the feet or the legs in front of us. And we'll just come back to our seated forward fold again. So legs nice long, toes pointed up towards the sky. We'll inhale the arms up. And then exhale, hinge at the hips. Maybe you can find yourself going just a little deeper. Again, not pressing or pushing into any particular pose. Maybe grabbing onto the toes, the ankles, the calves, or even the tops of the thighs. And if you need to bend your knees, no big deal. Just letting your body relax. Let it soften. And just take a nice calm breath in. Calm breath out. Using the core or using your hands, either way, we'll just slowly roll all the way down onto our backs. And then begin to bend both knees. We're just going to take that right ankle on top of the left knee or left thigh. So this may be enough. This is another little hip opener. But since we did so many tree poses, your hip might be a little more open now. So stay here if this is okay. If you can, or if you have a little more space, maybe draw that left thigh in towards the chest. You can grab onto the back of the thigh. You can even use a towel or strap behind the thigh if you can't reach. Remember to flex that right foot. It protects that right knee. And if you have even more space, you can gently begin to hold on to that left shin, bringing it in just a bit closer, trying to keep that low back onto the ground. So from here, we'll just let go of that left leg, and we're just going to take that right arm down onto the ground like a half T, keeping that figure four. We're going to take that left hand and just place it on top of that right foot. We're going to gently begin to take that whole legs, that figure four down towards the left, coming into a figure four twist. Right hand is still on top of that left foot, really anchoring it down. Gaze can look over to the right fingertips or even closing your eyes. Breathing into the twist. Twists are so good for detoxification. Nice little internal organ massage here. When you're ready, we'll slowly bring up the legs again, and we'll just uncross them and take them back down to the ground. Maybe even windshield wiper the knees back and forth. When you're ready, we'll move on to the other side. So a left angle on top of that right thigh, and then flexing that left foot. If you have the space on this side, maybe grab a hold of the back of that right thigh, drawing it in just a bit closer. And if you have even more space, you can grab on top of that shin, really bringing in that foot towards the chest a bit more. Just creating space in the body where there wasn't. Just letting new energy flow into that space. Letting go of any tension that you're holding on to. From here, we'll let go of that right thigh or right shin. And then we'll take the left arm out into a half T. Grab onto the top of that left foot and slowly bring that figure four down towards the right into a twist. Anchoring that left foot down with that right hand and looking over to your left fingertip. Just taking a nice big belly breath in. And exhale, emptying it all out. Just let yourself surrender here. No need to hold on to anything. The floor, the foundation will support you. When you're ready, we'll slowly bring everything up towards center. Place that right foot down, uncross the left. And if you need to, you can windshield wiper the knees back and forth. So we'll come into our final pose, Shavasana. If you don't want to lay down completely, you can always keep your knees bent and take the feet a little bit wider than hip width and let the knees fall in towards midline. It's a nice reset for the low back. You can always place a pillow underneath the knees or a rolled up blanket if that feels better. But just let the hands play out naturally. Let the body soften. We'll take a nice big inhale through the nose, through the chest and the belly. And then exhale, slowly emptying it all the way out. Begin to relax the toes, the soles of the feet and the ankles. Relaxing the calves, the knees, and the tops of the thighs. Softening the hips and the pelvis, and letting this peaceful sensation flow all the way up through the spine, into the belly, into the chest. Melting the shoulders down into the floor, relaxing the arms all the way down to the fingertips, letting them naturally curl in. releasing any tension that may be left in your jaw, and then softening the space between your brows, letting yourself become one with the earth, one with the source, and one with the self. When you're ready, slowly coming back to the room, back to your body, back to your natural pace of breath. Wiggling out the toes and the fingertips, and taking a nice big stretch like you're waking up in the morning. If it resonates with you, you can roll over to your favorite side into fetal pose. Once you make your way there, just taking a nice big breath in and a calm breath out. Now at the bottom of the exhale, slowly begin to press yourself all the way up to a comfortable seat, keeping the eyes closed or heavy. And then we'll take the hands to heart center, bowing the chin in gratitude for taking this time not only for yourself, but for your practice as well. And I thank you, just as your body, your heart, and your mind thank you for taking this time. I hope you all feel a little bit more stronger, a little more brighter, and a little more at peace. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. Namaste. Well, thank you everyone for coming out today. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your Tuesday, beautiful rest of your week. Please keep cool as possible, especially if you're in like the Valley area. And I hope to see you all next week. Bye everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.